4, 3, 2, 1.
From Boston, where even wicked smart doctors don't have all the answers, comes the show that takes rare diseases seriously and everything else not so much. It's time for Pain Points. Welcome to Pain Points, where each episode we present one example of what makes life in a family with rare disease difficult. And it's important to note, we're not complaining, just explaining. I'm your host, Daniel DeFabio. This time we're discussing how hard it can be to answer a simple question if you're involved in complex medical caregiving. Our friends with no kids or kids in typical health might find it hard to believe, but the simple question, how's the family, can be a triggering trap for those of us with rare disease kiddos. Most people don't even consider the question. We just answer with the auto reply, good, and we move on, even if the answer isn't completely true. Does anyone want to hear us complain about our personal stuff anyway? Probably not. But if your child has a rare disease, answering good can feel extra dishonest, especially if everyone knows about the condition. I've gotten puzzled looks in reaction to saying good. A look that says, I know Lucas isn't good. Why would you say he's good? Is he now cured of Menkes disease? Or am I just hiding how bad things really are? Sometimes when I've said good, I just meant good by the unique standards of our family. And other times, to be honest, I'm choosing to dodge your question because physically dodging you by hiding behind the cheese sampler dude never works out as well as I hope. My friend Jennifer Seidman of Courageous Parents Network calls this abbreviated good the supermarket answer. As in, you bump into somebody in the grocery store, you don't have the time or the energy to do a medical update just then. You really only want to grab your quinoa or your Captain Crunch and get home. So we go with the universal shortcut and we say, good. Teachable moments in the grocery store should be left to topics like how to prepare cuts of meat, or new changes to the food pyramid. I don't often want to get into the deep dive of the particulars of the rare condition in the middle of a grocery store cereal aisle. Another rare disease mom friend of mine, Becky Benson, had cards printed up to describe her daughter's condition for those times she didn't have time to talk, but she still wanted to educate. And then there are those times when the other person might lean into the conversation with a follow-up question, with a look and a tone, and how's Lucas? Which is great. I love the added emphasis and the concern. It's useful to me too. You're signaling to me you're ready to have that tougher version of the how's the family conversation. But again, maybe I'm not up for it. Or maybe I'd like to spare you some heartache that could derail your day when you thought you were just running a quick errand. It took me years, but I finally found a good and relatively quick way to thread this needle. How's Lucas, they would ask, and I would answer, he's good, and what I mean by good is no surprise trips to the hospital this year. So now you have a more honest answer that's not too much of a downer and sets the stage that if you want to pursue it more, we're probably going to have a not so casual chat. But don't take my word for it. Let's go deeper down the rabbit hole with Professor Gary David.
As a parent, you expect the hard stuff will be hard. You prepare for those moments, gathering your strength to rise to the occasion and be the parent that you hope to be. And the hard stuff can be challenging and exhausting, but not nearly as exhausting as when the stuff that is supposed to be simple becomes hard. Nothing quite depletes the soul of all energy than hard, simple stuff. And when raising a child with a rare condition, even all the simple stuff can become maddeningly hard. Parent-teacher conferences, those get replaced by IEP meetings. Family nights playing games or watching television, those get interrupted by medical needs and emotional dysregulation. When peers are celebrating their kids' milestones, such as conjugating regular verbs, in their Korean class at age 4, you are mourning your kid missing milestones. When you are raising rare, nothing seems easy and everything feels exhausting. Take small talk, for instance. Small talk, after all, should be simple because it is small. Here, size does matter, but in some unexpected ways. Take the poison dart frog, for instance. Small animal, but with a big punch, being one of the most deadly animals in the world. For me, small talk has never been simple or easy. While I can do it, I just find it easier when there are no other people involved. Talking to myself, I can be a small talk wizard. When having to talk to other people, I turn into Raj from Big Bang Theory in a room full of women. When it comes to making small talk with parents whose kids are more typical, the exhaustion can reach Peloton with Robin Arson levels. It's not the question, "How's Hailey?" that bothers me. It's more the way it is often said. "So, how's Hailey? How's she doing? That's good. She's such a sweet kid. We just love her." How I dread word elongators. Word elongators just mean that the entire conversation is going to go on longer than I originally wanted, which was any time longer than 0. If we have to chat, can it at least be about some other topic, or at least be in a way that all their parents get to talk about their kids? Parents love to brag about their kids, and I am no different, although I'm slightly less annoying because, after all, they are my kids, and by extension of being mine, they are more lovable. But what can I brag about? While you're telling me about how your child is captain of a sports team, I'm thinking about how my 16-year-old is learning how to dress herself. Your child is applying to colleges. My child is learning how to make toast, and with our toaster and the dial, that in itself is a challenge. Your child is going on spring break. My child goes to the grocery store with her classmates in order to develop life skills. While I am proud of all of our accomplishments, I can't help but feel they pale a little bit like hanging a finger painting at the MoMA, although if it's near the Rothko exhibit, it might fit right in. And when I share this news and I'm met with, "Oh, that's so good. She's such a treasure," I want to cease all future communication with the world. I am thinking about getting a bumper sticker that says, "My child is a special needs honor student," and letting people wrap their heads around that one. Do I want people to ask about how my kids are doing? Yes. Do I want to talk about all of my kids' accomplishments? Sure do. But what I don't want is to feel like my sharing is an opportunity for others to show pity. Please don't pity me. Just talk to me. And I have to tell you, when talking to other rare parents, there is a feeling that not only are you being talked to as a parent, but that you're finally being heard as a person. That's all for this episode of Pain Points. Thanks for watching.